Well, last night we did Birkat Levana after Arbit, and someone asked me, why don't we do it next week? Why are we doing it this week? Birkat Levana. And so when I answered him, I was thinking this might be a good topic. We could just read some halakot and explain why we do sometimes what we do. So just to get the dates. So today is Zayin Kislev. Right? So 7 Kislev.
Start at 7?
Yeah.
We can do it before.
Yeah, we'll read it now. It's Zayin Kislev, and obviously Hanukkah is 25 Kislev, so it means we're 18 days away from Hanukkah. Next Sunday, a week from today, will be 14 Kislev. Okay, so let's see just some of the basic halachot here. So I'm reading exactly. So I'm reading from Yalkut Yosef. En mebarechin al lebana ad shi'avu alei zayin yamim shelamim mehamolad. We only bless on the moon once it's 7 complete days from the molad. The molad is the birth of the new moon. It's scientifically, the rabbis determine when the molad is. And so it's on the calendars. When Hillel HaZaken made the calendar, we have something called the molad, the birth. The moon is born every 29 days, 12 hours in halakim, right? And so the molad, yeah.
The Molad is something about 6 years or something.
Every certain amount of years, it syncs up. You're talking about the proof that NASA of NASA. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I remember it's a guy who never died in the first war, the second war, because he said Amen when the rabbi said, "We see you in the next Molad," and he said Amen, and she never died.
No, maybe the sun.
It's around 80.
Maybe you're talking about the Birkat Hama, the blessing on the sun. I don't know, because the sun comes around much more rare than the moon. I don't know.
It's around 80 years.
Not the moon. The moon will not is every month. Maybe the sun or something.
I don't remember.
So it's on the molad can be any time. So for example, this month, the molad, the exact time when the new moon was born was I think it was 4:14 in the morning last Sunday. 4:14 in the morning, something like this. And so 7 complete days from the molad is when we want to start Birkat Levana, not before that. So Monday 4:14 would be one day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So really today at 4:00 in the morning would have been 7 complete days. But we did it last night, which is a little too early. So let's read the halakha. The Sephardic custom is to be very strict, and you must wait 7 complete days from the molad. If it's on a Saturday night, we always want to do Birkat Levana on a Saturday night, right? Because number one, and this will lead into the second shiur. But number one, the Birkat Levana has should be with a great happiness, a great joy. Birkat Levana, and we'll talk about that in a second. Also, practically speaking, there are more people in shul Saturday night. And so one guy told me last night, he said, why don't we wait? Let's do it Monday. He said, Monday there's 12 people. Saturday there's 40 people. So you have a concept. We want everyone to get the mitzvah. So if on Saturday night we're missing a few hours before the 7 complete days from the molad, you don't have to be so strict. And this is what we should teach people, especially in the winter months, and in the rainy season. In places where there's a lot of clouds, and they're afraid if you don't do it now, it's going to be cloudy and you're never going to do Birkat Levana. You should teach them. You can even let them do it after 3 days only from the molad, not even 7, 3 days, much earlier. Like we say in the poskim. And so there's a mahloket for in the Shulchan Aruch between the Maran and the Rama, how early you can do Birkat Levana. And so if it's a cloudy season, if it's a cloudy time of year and a rainy season in a place where it's always going to be rainy, then you want to grab the mitzvah when you can grab the mitzvah. Now, one more I wanted to do. This is Yaqut Yosef. Siman 426. This is what I was saying about Saturday night. Preferably, in Barachina ala Yerach. Yerach? Ela b'motzei Shabbat. Really, we want to do this blessing on Saturday night. Kishu mebusam ubegadav na'im. When you're all nice, you're wearing nice clothing, you have fragrant, that's when you should do the mitzvah. Mikom makom, im hoshesh sha'yedeh sheyamtin l'motzei Shabbat, yesh hashash sheyafsid mitzvah. If you're afraid that if you wait until Saturday night, you're going to lose it. So it's Thursday night and it's a clear sun, it's a clear night, you want to do it? Especially in the winter. That you don't always see it every night. Well, we're lucky over here, but in some places it's bad. Then don't wait because you want to grab the mitzvah. Also, it's good to have a minyan when you do Birkat Albana. That's why I said we want a lot of people. So it's better to do a Saturday night with the minyan than Tuesday night by yourself. Because with a lot of people, the king is glorified. Also, say you have Kaddish. If you have minyan, say Kaddish. But it's not mandatory to have a minyan. If you can't find 10 guys to do Birkat Albana, then you could do it by yourself. Okay, so therefore, on Saturday night, we want to do Birkat Albana. And even though we missed a few hours from the Molad, that's why last night we did it. If we would have waited till next Saturday night, it's going to be against the clock. What if it happens to be cloudy and your next Saturday is the 14th day already? So it's very, very risky to wait one more week, and especially in the winter. And so therefore, we do it Saturday night earlier. Now, I think I'm just going to roll right into the next class because it has a lot to do with this. So Saturday night, Motzei Shabbat, Birkat Albana, like I said, Shulchan Aruch writes, you should be done b'simcha rabah, with great happiness. And actually, my son happened to ask me last night, what's the big deal about Birkat Albana? This happens to be, he asked me. And so I told him, I said, Birkat Albana, blessing on the new moon, it's a symbol of us. Just like we're compared to the moon. We follow the moon. And just like the moon looks like it went away. It's gone, finished. And then all of a sudden, there's a little tiny moon coming back. And then it grows bigger and bigger and bigger. So too, Am Yisrael will never completely get rid of us. And look what's happening now. Baruch Hashem. Hashem is showing the whole world right now. Yeah, you'll never get rid of us. Actually, we're coming back stronger and stronger. Now, Baruch Hashem. It looks good, Syria, right? It looks good what happened in Syria last night. Hashem is showing the whole world, you can't beat these little tiny guys. And so we're the moon. Huh?
That's the reason for ceasefire.
The ceasefire, yeah.
That's the reason.
So they could go do that. Unbelievable. And so the moon symbolizes us. Rosh Chodesh, obviously, is very important. Chodesh is the first mitzvah in the Torah. It's the first mitzvah. In Egypt, we already got the mitzvah of Rosh Chodesh. That shows you that we're all about the month. We're all about waxing and waning. We go in and go out. That's life, but they'll never get rid of us. Motzei Shabbat in particular is a time when we bridge the holiness of Shabbat back to the non-holiness of the week. And so that's why Seudat Levi'it Malav Malka is a very special time. And that's what I want to talk about with Yaakov Avinu. We know that Yaakov Avinu, he's traveling, he's running away from his brother Esav, who's trying to kill him. He leaves Be'er Shava, Harana, and he goes to Haran. And he bumps into the place. I always wonder, by the way, maybe Vayifka B'makom is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Because HaMakom is Hashem. I don't see anybody says this. You ever wonder that? Vayifka B'makom? He met Hashem. But it doesn't say that. Nobody says Vayifka b'makom, like hamakom mirachem aleh. Vayifka b'makom, he brought into the place. Which place? Is the place of the Akedah. Vayalin sham kiba shemesh, and he slept there because the sun set. Vayikach me'avnei hamakom, and he took from the rocks. Vayasim mena ashotav, and he puts it around his head. And we know the midrash that all the rocks turned into one. Vayahalom, and he has a dream. V'yinei sulam mutzaf arza, and the ladder is standing. V'rosho magiah shamayma, and the head of the ladder is reaching heaven. V'yinei malachei Elohim olim ve'yoredim bo, and the angels of Hashem are going up and down. Now he wakes up. Vayikas Yaakov mishinato. He wakes up from his sleep. I ever tell you the Mishnah? Some people say Vayikas Yaakov mimishnato. He woke up from his Mishnah. I said this one time, yeah? I love this Pshat. Akira. Vayikas Yaakov mishinato. Yaakov woke up from his sleep. Vayomer achen yesh Hashem hamakom hazeh v'anochi lo yadati. He said, wow, Hashem's in this place. I had no idea. I've said it a few times here. Vayikas Yaakov mishinato. He woke up from his sleep and he said, wow, Hashem is here. So I heard somewhere, I forget where now. Vayikas Yaakov mimishnato. He woke up from his studies and he said, oh wow, Hashem is here in the Beit Midrash. And a lot of people, they just learn their whole lives, they don't have a Kadosh Baruch Hu. And so you can wake up in yeshiva one day from your Mishnah and say, oh, the whole time, Hashem is here. I just discovered God in the Beit Midrash. What does he say? And Zeki in Beit Elohim, I'm in the house of God. This is the gate to heaven. Vayikra, Shem hamakom ahu Bet El. And so he renames the city Bet El. Ve'ulam. However, Luz Shem Ha'i Leilishona. The real name of this city was Luz. And now, right? So what the people in Luz are called? Losers, yeah. So right. So Bet El is the new name of the city of Luz. Now we're talking about Mosei Shabbat. So you guys know we're all thinking the same thing. Luz is the luz bone. The luz bone behind our neck happens to be the name of the bone behind our neck that we put the tefillin knot on. Is the same name as the city. Luz. Is it a coincidence? Probably not. The luz bone is the bone that doesn't decompose. And Tehiyat HaMetim, Hashem's going to take some of the dew and put it on the luz bone, and it's going to reawaken the whole body. That's how we're going to get up. From the bone right behind our neck, the luz bone. And as we know, I'm sure everybody knows this already, Mosei Shabbat, if you have Seudah Revi'it, if you have Melava Malka, that nourishes the luz bone. The luz bone is the only bone that didn't benefit from the Garden of Eden, the Eitz Hadat, the sin of Adam and Eve. The luz bone refused to have any nourishment from the food. I don't want anything from it. The rest of the body can have it. So the luz bone is the holiest bone in the body, and therefore it's clean. And we're gonna resurrect from the luz bone. Okay. Interestingly, the luz bone has a few names in Hazal. In the Zohar, they call the luz bone the Betuel Ramai. Betuel is another coincidence. Lavan's father is Betuel. And the luz bone, they call it the Betuel bone. It's too close to be coincidence. Luz, the name of the city, does it have anything to do with the name of the bone? There's an interesting comment from the Slonim Rebbe that I think leads us to an interesting place. And this is what he says. The Slonim Rebbe says as follows. He interprets the story al derech drash. He makes a derasha the following way. He says, Vayetzei Yaakov mi be'er Shava. Yaakov left be'er Shava. Shava is Sheva, 7. Right? And that's why it was named. It's a question which be'er Sheva, because if you go back, Avraham Avinu, when he stood the 7 sheep with Avimelech and they made a treaty, he called the place be'er Shava. But then also Yitzhak, when he placed in Parashat Hayesara, when Yitzhak had his own encounter with Avimelech, with digging the wells after Avimelech, he named the place Be'er Sheva. Well, there could be 2 separate places, it could be the same place, but whatever the reason is, it's because of the word 7, which is also the word Shavu'ah, swear. And I know I've said this 1,000 times. Rabbi Victor Miller says Shavu'ah and Sheva is the same word. That's why the word for swear, oath, is Shavu'ah in Hebrew, because who are you swearing by? I'm swearing by the one who created the world in 7 days. It's the same word. Yeah. And so Shavua is week because there's 7 days in the week. It's a Shavua is Sheva, and the Shavua is the same thing. I swear by the master of the seven. And so says the Slonim Rebbe, Yaakov Avinu, he left Be'er Sheva, he left the seven. What's the seventh day? Shabbat. Until now, his life was Shabbat. Especially if you hold like Rashi, that he went to the yeshiva of Shem and Ebed for 14 years. He grew up in Yitzhak Avinu's house. He was studying Yosef Ohalim, sitting in the tents. We only know one bad thing he ever did. One not Torah thing he ever did was the trickery thing, and he hated every second of it. And now he goes to yeshiva for 14 years, and now he's on his way to leave the yeshiva. And he's going to spend 20 years in the business world with the biggest crook in the history of the world. Vayetze Yaakov Be'er Sheva is leaving Shabbat. Vayelech Harana, and he's going to Harana. Haran means Haron, us. Haran is anger, fury. That's the week, says Islam Rabbi. Haran, he's going to the work week, where it's not fun. You have to earn your bread. And everyone's angry at everybody else. And so what does he do when he's ready to leave his Shabbat, his personal life of rest, and go into the work world? Beseder? It's okay? What does he do? Oh, I'm saying, what does he do? What does Yaakov do? I forgot about that before it happened then. Right? For this is Israel. What does he do? He has a dream. Halom v'hine sulam mutzav ansa. Says the Slonim Rebbe, sulam samach lamed mem seudat melave malka. Seudat lave malka. It's a lot. A sulam is a malava malka. What was the message in the dream? Lave, maybe lave malka, he says. What was the message in the dream? I know that you're leaving your Shabbat and you're about to go to your work week. I can bridge this for you. There's a way to bridge it. We have a ladder, and it fits beautifully with the Bashi that says the ladder was starting here and it was going all the way to the heavens with Yerushalayim in the middle, which means the message of the ladder in this Peshat would be, wherever you're going to this work world, to this physical place for 20 years, it's always with you. If you bridge it, it's always here. You can blend it together with you. Maybe your feet are going to be in Luz, but your head can be in Yerushalayim. The ladder or the head can be in the skies, and the middle of the ladder, like she says, will be in Yerushalayim. We can fuse it together. How do you do that? By extending. Before you're ready to exit your Shabbat, you say, I'm going to take a little Shabbat with me onto the week. The Lubavitch Rebbe talks very highly about this also, and he even says you don't have to even eat. And he writes in the Sikha, don't even have to eat. It's the fact that you said that, and we did this in a Gemara class for the men one time. The Gemara doesn't say you should eat malava malka. It's a mahloket whether you should. It says the olam yisader adam shulchano. Set the table. That's what the Gemara says. If you want to fulfill exactly what the Gemara, Shulchan Aruch, it takes the exact words of the Gemara. The olam yisader adam shulchano. He should arrange his table at Motzei Shabbat and Erev Shabbat. And so you want to eat. It's a question: do you have to eat or not eat? And the Gemara says, yeah, hot food is healthy, hot tea is healthy, a hot shower is healthy. There's lots of things we can do. There's a whole class that we did on this. It's on YouTube, whatever. But says Lubavitch Rebbe, the whole idea is I want to extend out. I want to extend out Shabbat, that it should start already. Its tentacles should be reaching into my week, and somehow my whole week will become holier because of this. And this is what Yaakov Avinu is trying to do. So very beautiful from the Slonim Rebbe. He leaves Be'er Sheva, he goes to Haran, and he has a dream Sulam. And so there's a lot of Motzei Shabbat symbolism here that I'm detecting between the Luz bone, which we know is the Malava Malka feeds the Luz bone, and the place of Luz, which is the same name, And this shot from the Solana Rebbe that maybe it actually was Saturday night. I don't know. I don't know if it was Saturday. Maybe it was Saturday night. No idea that he left Saturday. And so I want to read you. We'll start with Navi in the book of Judges. Early in the book of Judges, when we're conquering the lands, there's a very short story that doesn't seem to be anything much, but everything is big once you look into it. And so, Vaya'alu bet Yosef, the people of Yosef, this is in Judges chapter 1. I'm going to start from Pasuk 22. And the main Pasuk, Akiva, is 26, 126. Vaya'alu bet Yosef, gam hem bet El, v'Adonai imam. The people of Yosef, they traveled to Bet El. That's the place we're talking about right now, Bet El. And Hashem was with them as they're conquering their way into the land. Vayatiru bet Yosef Bet El. The people of Yosef sent spies into Bet El to see how can we conquer this city as they're entering Israel. This is way in the beginning of the entrance of Israel. Veshem ha'id lefanim, Luz. And the name of the city beforehand was Luz. Thank you very much for telling us this. In case you forgot your Chumash, then the prophets repeat it for you. The name of the city was Luz. Okay, this is amazing. So Yaakov was in Luz once. He went in there. He took no prisoners. They had a whole fight. He made tons of money. It was 20 years. He left. Everything. What happened to that place after that? What happened to Luz after that? Well, it was in the hands of the Aramim and the hands of the Goyim. And now the Jews are coming to get it back on their way into Israel. Because this place is Bet El. Bet El, they still call it Bet El. Yerushalayim, no? They got to get back. So the Bet Yosef. Now, not a coincidence. Again, Yosef, Yaakov is the one father that's the father of Galut, of going out there into Galut. And of all his children, Yosef is the other one. Yosef was almost like a fourth Av. Also, going into Egypt, surviving. And so Yosef is the one who says, I'm going to get loose. In my opinion, I'm going to get loose. The place that Abba made Seudat Malav Malka. The place that Abba took. Okay? Have to get loose. Vayiru Hashomerim, and the watchers see, the Jewish watchers, they see, Ish Yotzeh Min Ha'ir. They see a guy coming out of the city of Luz. Now, it sounds like they couldn't get into Luz. It was a tough city to conquer. I'll say a joke, but no one's going to get it. It was a tough nut to crack. You get the joke?
Yeah.
You get it?
Yeah.
Why? Tell me.
What?
What's the joke? Do you get it?
Maybe.
No, you don't get it. Okay. You'll get the joke and come. You ever tell a joke to someone before they don't have enough information to get the joke? So remember that joke. All right? Luz was a tough nut to crack. And they see a guy coming out. You get it now. What does the word lose mean?
Luz?
Yeah, it has a meaning. Okay, ready? I'll tell you in a second. They see a man coming out of the place. Vayomerulo, and they tell the man, now stay with me. They tell the man, please show us the entrance of the city. You don't know where the entrance of the city is. And if you do so, we'll be very nice to you. They couldn't get in to Luz. Well, what kind of city was Luz? And how'd Yaakov get in? And so this man shows them, this is how you get in the city, right here. And they went in there and they destroyed it and they took it over. And this man and his whole family, they said, you're free to go. Sounds a lot like Rahav, right? When they went to Yeshua, Rahav. And the man goes Eretz HaHitim, to the land of the Hitim. So he left. But we're privy, they let us know what he did with his life. Somehow. Vayiben Eid, and he went and he built a brand new city, this man. Not a Jewish man. Vayikra Shema Luz. And he called the new city Luz. He liked being a loser. He lived in Luz. They took Luz. I'm going to build a new city, Luz. The new losers. Hu Shema Ad Hayom Hazeh. That's the name of the city until this very day. You know what? Ad Hayom Hazeh. When the Torah says Ad Hayom Hazeh, it's always powerful. It means never will change until this very day. What's going on in this little story? And then the next one, they talk about different cities they conquered. Why couldn't they find the entrance to Luz? Just look at the sign, the house of Lavan. They couldn't get into Luz. And so Luz, I don't know if they still use it now. Luz means hazelnut. How do you say hazelnut in Hebrew? Want to put it on the phone? Do a.
Yeah, but I was guessing the luz is like the nut.
It's a nut. Luz means hazelnut. The Radak and other commentaries, they chime in and they say the city of Luz was called Luz, hazelnut, because it was closed like a nut. You couldn't find your way in. It was hidden. It was so fortified. Another pshat says there were hazelnut trees, and you had to go in through one of the trees. That was your way into hidden, mamash, through a hazelnut tree. I saw one pshat, hold on, Yaniv. I saw one pshat that says it was caves. It was like on the mountain, it was caves. Luz was either in Iraq or Turkey, I would say, or Syria, but they keeps changing over the years. The power of the land isn't in that area there. No, what am I talking about? Luz is Yerushalayim. No?
Should be better.
Yeah. Enclosed by caves, and I think that Radak says there was one hazelnut tree. If you go under the tree, you go into the city. Now, what did you find over there?
What does it say?
Yeah.
It goes at luz.
It goes there, Luz is hazelnut. Okay, thank you. It should be Bet El. The new Luz or the old Luz? That's what he's saying, New York or Old York. The new Luz is in the non-Jewish lands. There's a new Luz. What's going on with this? So for this,
Still somewhere that it's like existed that there's
a hidden city.
yeah, that's today, right? Today. Because it says until today.
But we know
It's hiding because the guy only knows where is that.
the new one, the new city or the old city.
The old.
I think the old one is open. Maybe they opened it up. The nut.
The new.
The new.
Open.
I think so.
And
Maybe
it's
the
open.
new one is hidden. That's what I would say. Because Luz is in Yerushalayim, Bet El. The old of Yaakov named the place Bet El.
Okay, when it's something that's bigger, you don't see it because it's bigger than you.
Could be. It could be that in a little corner of Yerushalayim, there's a little hazelnut bush, and then you go. I don't know. It's unbelievable. They couldn't find their way in. Go pick hazelnuts, and they couldn't find the place. Now we need the help of the Gemara to help understand this story. So let's take the Gemara. Sota. Yeah. Gemara Sota says, I had a bookmark. My bookmark, coloring pages. Bookmark. The Gemara says as follows. It's talking about Eglad Ufa. Eglad Ufa is the calf that they break the calf's neck. If they find if they find a dead body in the street, they don't know who had the person die. So they go to the nearest city and they break the calf and they say it's a kapara. It's your fault because you should have escorted him. You're punished because you didn't escort him. So it's talking about levaya. Malka, same word by the way. It's talking about levaya. Levaya means to escort. And so the Gemara is talking about the value in escorting someone and showing them the way. So the Gemara says as follows. Get the right one. It explains our story. Tanya, Hayar Rabbi Meir Omer. Rabbi Meir used to say, Kofin lelevaya. You must force people to escort people out of the city or into the city. You cannot imagine the reward you get when you escort someone out of the city. You can't imagine the reward. En la shi'u, there's no measure. How do you know? This story. Look at the reward this guy got. his whole family was saved, and he built a whole new city called Luz, all because he showed us how to get into the city. He escorted us to the city. Shneimar, Vayiru Hashomonim Ish Yoseh Min Ha'ir, Judges 1, Pasuk 24. They said, how do I get in here? We'll do kindness for you. He showed them. Uma Hesed Asu Imo. What kind of kindness did he do for them? Shekol Ota Ha'ir Harigu Lefi Hared. They killed everyone inside. Ve'oto Ha'ish u'mishpachto shilehu, and him they let live. וילך האיש ארץ החיתים ויבן עיר ויקרא שמה לוז. הוא שמה עד היום הזה. Judges 1:26, verse 26. The man built a new city, Luz, and that's the name of the city until this very day. Tanya, he Luz shesovim batechelet. In this city of Luz, they dye the techelet, the blue of the fish that comes for the sisit. They bring the dye all the way to Luz, because if they do the dyeing over there, the color is beautiful. In the city of Luz, in his city of Luz. He Luz, Sheba Sanherib v'lo bilbela. Sanherib tried to destroy everything. He didn't mess with Luz. Nebuchadnezzar v'lo heriba. Nebuchadnezzar didn't touch Luz. It's oblivious to everything. It's got a little bubble over it. No one can touch it. Ve'af malach hamavet en lo reshut la'avod ba. The angel of death has no permission to touch anyone in the city of Luz. Ela zikenim sheba. There are a lot of old people living in the city of Luz, the new city or the old city. It doesn't say which one. Oh,
It's supposed to be the new, right?
the new one. We're talking about the reward this guy got. How do the people die then? Well, they live forever. There's no malach hamavet. Says the Gemara. I'm in Sotah, page 46. Bisman shedatan katza lehen. When they get sick and tired of living, yotzim chutz lahoma. All they do is they walk outside the wall, metim, and then they die instantly. Malach hamavet is waiting at the wall, can't go in. Now, that's a really amazing kindness that this guy did. That's amazing reward this guy gets for showing them the way. We don't have his name. Non-Jewish man, Hiti.
It's like Joe.
Let's do another Gemara. Listen to this Gemara. Gemara Sukkah. Uriah Hiti. He died. We know he died. Gemara Sukkah, page 53. That's true.
The
Yeah.
same guy who talks to the Joseph, the brothers.
Where are you? He was in the city of where was it? Dotan. Dotaina? No, he said they went to Dotaina.
But that was an angel, wasn't it?
It says Ish.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the same
Could be.
thing here.
It could be.
It's a guy. It's only a guy.
We don't know. Ready for the next Gemara? This one would be referring to Kings. In the book of Kings, chapter 1, I'm not going to read it for you. In book of Kings, chapter 1, Pasuk, chapter 4, Kings 1, chapter 4, Pasuk 2, I think, Akiva, Pasuk 3. Kings 1, chapter 4, Pasuk 3. It says very simple. It lists King Solomon's officers. And it says, Elihoref va'Ahiyah ben Shisha Soferim. Elihoref and Ahiyah, the sons of Shisha, were the scribes of King Solomon. That's all I'm reading from here. So we have judges, we have kings. And so as the Gemara says about these guys, he's two scribes. Sukkah 53. Hani tarte kusha'eh. There were two kushim. Kushim, some people hold, is not literal kushim. It's a way of saying someone's beautiful. That's what some like. It can mean beautiful sometimes, like a. These two guys were kushim, two kushim that Shlomo, he liked them very much. They were very Very handsome, very good. He liked him very much. Now, Yoma Had, one day, Shlomo HaMelech, who can speak with the angels, he sees the Malach HaMavet, the angel of death, he's very depressed. And so he asks him, Amale, Amai Atzibat. You got it. Did you hear the whole thing? Amale, there's a lot to catch up on if you didn't catch up. Amale, Amai Atzibat. He said, hey, Malach HaMavet, I'm going to end this. My phone's been dying every class now. All right. He said to Malach HaMavet, you got to